Hello, and welcome back to my channel. This is Reality with DVD. How you doing? And I love Mother Wendy. I am so humble to be bringing you this topic, and I just want to say before I even get started talking about anything, I enjoy Keke. I enjoy Keke on the show. I enjoy Keke's every interview. And trust me when I tell you, wherever Wanda was and people were on her side, or wherever Tisha was and people were on her side, I was eating them up. Tiffany, like I said, you can go back and look at my other videos. I was like, when Tiffany said, if you did that to your cousin, what would you do to me? Talking about her, speaking with Mel on the cheating accusations or whatever. I was always saying, Keke never did confirm anything. She just said at that pajama jam that there were conversations. And conversations do not mean that she was making any accusations against Marceau. Definitely. That became an issue. Then it became an issue about her addiction. And every time Keke would have just a moment, it was like, she on that stuff. She back on that stuff. And I did videos on that. I've done videos and my reach is not that long. Okay? The people who were making the accusations against her reaches are longer than mine. So a lot of people didn't hear me because I only gained my over 1,000 subscribers probably like in the last 3 or 4 months. At that time, I probably had 200, 300 subscribers still trying to build my channel. And I probably when her last appearance on the show was, I probably was right at 1,000 then. And then before that, let's see, at the reunion, when I tell you I was really windmilling for her at that reunion, and I was windmilling for her on that Houston trip. And that brings me to what her uncle said. I wouldn't have spoke on it had her uncle not spoken on it, because I was waiting on them. As far as cause of death, same thing. I was waiting on them. And then when I shout out to Prosperity, when I saw Prosperity's post and what her dad was saying, I mean, a lot of people don't understand how I could be truly broken up about this. I'm broken up because as a mental health worker, I know that she was struggling. And I don't mean just struggling with that addiction. I mean, she was struggling trying to get her family back on track. I don't think at all she wanted for this thing to go this far with Tisha. I know she threw the drink on her. And the only thing I've ever said against her was when she threw the drink on, I said, now, cousin or no cousin, me and her probably would have been strapping had she thrown the drink on me. But everything subsequently after that and subsequently before that, I can understand where she was coming from. She was literally fighting for her position on that show. And that's how I see things. When I heard carbon monoxide poisoning, let me just say this, allegedly, in my opinion. And like I said, I am a former social worker, former mental health worker. When I heard carbon monoxide poisoning, I was like, now how is it that, and you could look at anybody's post when they first said the cause of death, and they said that, I said, well, how is that possible when the other family members are still alive? Because normally, if you have a carbon monoxide situation, that's why I got carbon monoxide detectors all through my house. I have one in my hallway, and I have one in my living room. And, well, I just have a 3-bedroom home, but, baby, I will be alerted. So I was like, Because my house is run on electricity though, but I have one gas heater. And I know how dangerous they can be. And before I had carbon monoxide detectors, when we first got those gas heaters installed into the home, my mother would always leave a window open in the house. So I was like, because that causes everybody to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So when that happened, I was like, oh, okay, how is that possible? Because they said she had passed away surrounded by family members. And then when I found out about the car, her sitting in the car and the car was having a problem, y'all, I could not help but think, I know it, I'll put it this way. I felt Keke's depression when she had that conversation that, ultimately took her off the show. And I felt her depression, even though she was smiling and laughing in her last interview, I felt it then. And even though she had the power and the strength, she had power and strength behind her words when she was cussing out Anthony Lawless. I saw all of this unfold. I paid close attention to it. Because I was like, I felt in my spirit, I said, something's wrong with Keke. She's unraveling. And I said, because she's so well put together, so poised, so beautiful. I just like, she's not holding it together. These people are disturbing her. And I could just see it in her eyes, no matter how much, that beautiful smile. And for the Moors to be so cruel to their blood family member, in my opinion. And she did things to them too, not them per se. Wanda jumping in the middle of their disagreements, mostly. She was more harsh to that young lady than Tisha ever could have been. So I'm not blaming anything on either one of them. They're family. You have these type of disagreements. The first time I ever cussed my cousin out, when she made an accusation. See, I don't like when people make accusations against me. And she's older than me. She treated me like a daughter, even though she's only 7 years older than I am. It was a situation where she accused me of doing something that I didn't do to her child. And I lost it. And I cussed her flat straight out. Today, as if today, she told her mom. My mom had passed away. My mom and her mom were sisters. And she told her mom what I did. And she told my other aunts what had happened. And they all told her, well, you were wrong. Right? So it wasn't a situation where they said we were both wrong. They told her she was wrong because she made the accusation. And when she made that accusation, she didn't ask me anything. She didn't ask me if I said it. She just assumed that I did it. And that was it. Okay? So it was a situation where she admitted she was wrong and she took accountability. That's my problem with Letitia. I never saw her say, well, in my opinion, I felt like she was still struggling with her addiction. But I'm going to be there for her. I'm going to help her. I don't care if we are arguing. I'm going to help her with her struggle. Even though in my spirit, in my social worker spirit, in my mental health worker spirit, and my psychology spirit, I do not feel like, I don't feel like she had went back into that addiction at all. Period. Point blank. I don't. And I don't agree with people making the accusation that she was still struggling. I don't think Melody thought she was still struggling because she actually performed the drug test on the show. Okay? And that had to be humiliating as well. But I think at that time, Melody was trying to, assist her. But she was fighting a losing battle. She was fighting on her own. She was fighting by herself. And every time I would get on Twitter, I would be like, y'all give it a break. Do y'all know what happens to people who are struggling with addiction and then they get clean and you keep making the accusations that they're not, that could push them over the edge. But I wasn't thinking that would push her over the edge in a way that she would commit suicide. I was thinking, to hear it and then she get into an addiction and she's like, okay, well, I might as well do it. And I heard Empress Radio talking about something, and I had 2 babies back to back in my 40s. And after that last baby, because she carried so low and she almost ruptured my cervix, that's another story all in of itself. I was in a lot of pain after the second, even after I got an epidural. And the way even your nurses, and I was breastfeeding, the way they push opioids on you, because they were like, well, don't suffer in pain, because my breasts were tender as well. I was having trouble getting milk in. I never got in my colostrum, so it was rough. And so every inch of my body ached. And so I know what they do, and especially at that time, because it was way back in 2018. And I believe that that's about when Keke started her addiction. And then they don't take accountability to what the opioid industry did to the American society. It's time for the drug companies to be held responsible, in my opinion. Ooh, I'm getting too deep. Let me stop. Let me get on back to what I was going to say. So, Mr. Dawson Moore, no, he's not a Moore. No, he made the announcement to the Moors. So I'm going to say his name is Dawson, because that's probably Keke's main name. And since her and her father weren't married, I don't think Keke was a Moore. But anyway, the father and Keke's mother, I don't think they ever married. So I think that's why Keke still was in a Dawson. So I'm going to say that the Dawson man was Keke's mother's brother, I'm assuming, or her mother's sister's husband. Either way it goes, Keke's uncle on her mom's side. I'll put it that way. He made a statement, and in that statement, I'm just gonna, skirt around some things. I'm not gonna say everything he said because I posted it on my community wall. Go check that out if you want to see the full statement. But he made some poignant points, okay? Saying that real family does not treat their family the way that they treated Keke. Because like I said, me and my cousin had that tilt. Everybody who was involved got involved, and they told her, after they told her she was wrong, today, as we speak, and I hold grudges because I'm a Scorpio. Shout out to me and Keke and Melody being Scorpio. So that's just a part of our character. We hold grudges. But you couldn't tell that we had a disagreement like that. And I think my opinion is that it was really Marcel that had so much vitriol towards Keke. Tisha felt like she had to take his side. That's my opinion. And I feel like Mr. Dawson felt the same way because he called him a sorry ass. Okay? and he called out Wanda and her sorry ass daughter and her sorry ass husband. So I'm just thinking that, to me, it was Marcel, because if you look back at the show, and I said this in my last recap, when Marcel, and my last recap when the Scots were on the show, I said this about him. I said that Marcel, well, I put it this way. I agreed with, what is her name? Storm. When she said that Marcel has a tendency to cause a break between Tisha and her female relationship. But the sad thing about that is that Marceau often takes these women's sides in front of her. It's the weirdest thing. Because he always tells Tisha when Melody is right. He always tells Tisha when Melody has a point. Now, to me, he has severed every tie she has with people in her family and in her friendships except the one with Wanda. And the only reason why that hasn't happened is because Tisha won't let it. And she could have done the same thing with her castmates, her cousin, and her friendship. Because there almost was a tie severed between she and Kimmy. Remember the if she wasn't my sister-in-law, we wouldn't be friends type conversation? Okay. She almost did it then. Now, see, Kimmy wouldn't be welcome at that funeral because of what she said in the public. Oh, she was cold, she was shaking, she was sweating. When she had already said many, many times that was the side effect of the dome. I knew that. And so many content creators getting out their medical licenses talking about, well, since she was on the dome and the dome was helping her get clean, then it would have showed up on the test. Not necessarily. I said that in my recap about the reunion. Not necessarily. It's no proof that Meth D will show up on a drug test. And when Carlos grilled her, he was grilling her. He was like, okay, well, you know, it says that test for meth. No. If you looked at the show and paid attention to your own show instead of watching Bravo thoroughly, then you would have known that her husband didn't want her to use the dome to because of the withdrawal symptoms that she was still having. He wanted her to go the naturalistic way. And a lot of times that's what happens with people when they get on the dome. It's just another drug to calm you down from those other drugs. Methadone I done said it weird. But anyway, it may not work the same way. And I don't think it always works the same way as holistic treatments to calm you down from different substances. It does. Sometimes it makes matters worse. And you become dependent on that. So that's why it has to be a healthy balance. And I think that's what Amin was trying to get Keke to see. So it's quite possible that that's the reason why I didn't show up on the test. And there are tests that don't even test for because of them knowing, especially if had she been getting tested at treatment centers. Okay? So, that's that. That's my professional opinion. Y'all got a little freebie there. Allegedly. And in my opinion. But, yeah, what I'm saying. But, so, he did say he didn't want any more there. I hope that did not refer to her father. And I hope that did not refer to her sisters by her father. Because I think it's a set of twins that was on that Bessemer show. That's Keke's sisters. So I hope that wasn't in reference to them because I think they were very close to Keke. I don't think they had anything to do with what Wanda was doing. At least I never heard that they did. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that they, have some kind of conversation with the Dawsons or had some kind of conversation with the Dawsons saying that they want to be there because I from what I could see and Keke's conversations about the twins, I don't think that they were having anything other than maybe like sibling rivalry. I don't think it was in your face like it was with Wanda and Letitia. But, if they feel that way, they feel that way. But I hope it was some exceptions in there because I didn't see that much contention with she and her sisters. And I think he had only girls. But I know, like I said, I know that they said the sisters was a set of twins, and those more genes are strong. So, yeah, she just looks so much like, she looks more like Wanda than she did her mom. And usually, when that happens, it ain't a whole lot that your family can do, even your own children. Cause you talking about my sister look just like one of my aunts, and when I tell you she can't do no wrong in that aunt's eye, they are tight, and she treats her just as well as she treats her own daughter. So that really surprised me that she wasn't, as an adult, as a grown woman, and like Melody said, trying to impart wisdom. It surprised me that she wasn't the type that tried to impart wisdom and let them know family over everything and stop this foolishness just because y'all are on the show. But no, she wanted to be a part of the show too, so she was always in the mess. And never at one point in time did she ever act like she regretted. Called into Scotty by Nature's show when Keke was having her own individual interview and said the girl mama didn't want her. Said that it was supposed to be an A-B situation because of her snooty father and all this type of foolishness. Whether that happened or not, as I was saying before, I was so rude and interrupted. I don't even know what I ended at because I'm always interrupted. But I'm gonna close anyway. I'm about to close. I'm at a kid's party, so every time I get a free moment away from my children, I head on out here to film. But yeah, I really truly believe, hopefully believe that they made some exceptions for the father and the sisters. And oh yeah, I was saying too, and I may be repeating myself because you go somewhere and talk to somebody else, you get what you're saying. But I may have said, and I don't remember if I said it or not, that the father may have wanted an AB, or the mother may have wanted an AB. They 15 and 16. You know what I'm saying? And the grandfather may have wanted that, and I don't think he did. He might have been the one who talked her into keeping Keke, because for the simple fact that he was very religious. My understanding, these people seem to be very, very religious on Keke's side of the family. So it might have been a situation where once he found out, he was like, no, that's not an option. Either way it goes, my point is, she didn't do it, okay? And to come out and say and act like people didn't want her, that was another blow. That might have been something that Keke never knew. And to come out on another content creator, I almost said his name, come out on another content creator's show while her interview was going on, with that content creator having close to 60-some thousand subscribers plus the people that was coming in to see the interview. It wasn't right. It wasn't right. A lot of these things were taking her over the edge, whether that's what caused the situation or not. That's what caused her to leave us or not. That does not mean that she wasn't affected by all of this. That could take a toll on anybody. That was a lot. That was a lot to go through. That was a lot to go through for any average person. But then there's somebody that was on national TV, the most popular show on the OWN network. That's a lot. But shout out to Mr. Dawson for speaking his piece. I appreciate it, because I know I was kind of feeling used, because a lot of content creators were saying that, we're not going to speak on it. If one wants to go to the services, she should be able to go. That's her niece. I'm pretty sure she feels bad enough. And I was thinking to myself, never. And Mr. Dawson said everything I was thinking, but it's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. It's time for me to close. Yeah, I just, like I said, the most positive vibes and energy that could possibly come from my body to Kiki's departed body. But the transition is all over the earth. You feel her spirit. Whether you met her in person or not, that vivacious spirit was there on that TV screen, and I felt it. So we could take solace in that. Her real fans. Shout out to her real fans. I always said that Dwayne was the bridge between she and Melody. She talked about Dwayne all the time. I just hope that she's okay, because it's one thing about Dwayne. She and Melody were best friend. She and the Keke were best friend. They both shared her. They know they shared her in common, but you never saw her speak on either one of them. You never saw her speak on that show. You never. Every time now, Melody and Keke would give her shouts out. You see her name pop up every once in a while in a live, but she never spoke on that show. She never got on camera that I saw, you know. And a lot of people was coming from the woodworks, getting on camera and getting on people's interviews, speaking on the show. And she knew them very intimately, and I never saw Dwayne speak on anything. I just know her name like that because I paid close attention to Keke. And I'm telling you, paying close attention to her lets you know that you are a true fan if you can remember all that. But anyway, neither here nor there. Like I said, positive energy to Keke, positive energy to her family. You guys be blessed. Remember, we all here for a short time. Even if you make it to 90, that's still a short time. Think about how long trees live, okay? But that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna close. Yeah. When I heard that, I just could not believe it. But anyway, I'm gonna close. And as I do when I close, I'm gonna check them up deuces.